We're here to do a brand new episode of the Sports Review Show on Drizzlerland. So here we go. Let's get into the Cubbies. The Cubbies are 42 and 35 on the year right now. They just played the Dodgers 2 games in a row. Fortunately, lost yesterday, but the previous day we uh, we proved the point. We also had a pretty good, decent series against the Indians and the Pirates and some other teams that a few years ago we really couldn't do much against. Um, Baez is having a good year. Chris Bryant's having a good year. Jock Peterson is having a really good year for the Cubs. Pitching is pretty decent this year. I have no real complaints. The people that they brought in through the farm system are doing their jobs. I would say yes that they should make the playoffs. So with that, uh, NBA, we have the Atlanta Hawks out of the middle of nowhere. Actually, the team, the baby faces of that Eastern Conference out of the middle of nowhere played one hell of a series. And now that the Nets have been eliminated, I mean, honestly, through the East, I would say either the Hawks or the Bucks should make the NBA Finals. And the Clippers and the Sun series is really awesome. I mean, I've really enjoyed that. That's been a really great series so far. And if I had to pick, I would say the Suns are a decent team, and I think that you can't count them out. They can obviously get back into this series and do good things. And it would be nice for somebody like Chris Paul, honestly, to play in an NBA Finals. I think that him and Devin Booker, I think, have had a decent year, and I think that they really deserve that opportunity. Just saying. Um, Other than that, I think that we've had a good international soccer scene as well. The U.S. have done very well in competition so far. They just had a few, mix-ups regarding against Mexico, but other countries they played pretty decent against. So can't really say that they're not going to do any good. Um, Regarding hockey, your boy Dennis Goblin will be back later on to cover the NHL and the Montreal Canadiens, who head to the Stanley Cup for the first time, I think, in like 50 years, 52 years, something like that. Um, so he'll be back later on to do that NHL show for you guys. So let's get into the wrestling news, guys. WWE continues to release talent. As of yesterday, the multiple count of wrestlers that have been released since April have gone up to 42. 42 employees. Wow. We all know why that is, because Nick Khan, wrestling operations of talent, and Mr. Johnny Laurinaitis, John Laurinaitis, Johnny Boy, apparently want their huge vacation times and their yachts and their mansions. So, they have to let wrestlers be fired for that period of time so that they can afford their bills. Budget's cutting, which I don't believe for 1 minute. So, now let's resolve a few issues that have gone on. Samoa Joe has been brought back to NXT after he was let go and fired by Bruce Pritchard a few months ago, which I did not agree with. I think that was a really stupid decision. Um, so with that, he is now brought into NXT, and now he is taking William Regal's spot as part-time general manager, basically, of the show. You have a new $1 million champion crowned at the last NXT pay-per-view. So LA Knight, the former Eli Drake, is your champion. He defeated Cameron Grimes. I'm sorry, got that wrong name. Mix up. Cameron Grimes is the apprentice of the $1 Million Man, basically Ted DiBiase. They brought DiBiase back recently for some NXT events in your house and a few other flashback pay-per-views from past companies that WWE has taken pride in reamping and whatever. So I actually really enjoyed NXT's last Takeover pay-per-view. I thought it was a really solid pay-per-view. I thought we got a lot of great stuff, including the five-way championship match. I thought was really good. The women's match was really good. I honestly feel like NXT with Samoa Joe being involved should be a better program going forward. We got the debut of Diamond Mine on this last episode of NXT, and we got a face-to-face with Karrion Kross and Joe, NXT is becoming better, and I'm glad for this, because for the longest period of time I just could not watch NXT. It was really terrible. It was just so horrible. Now, the bad thing about NXT is Vince McMahon and his cronies are already down at the Performance Center scouting NXT talent for the main roster after they let go all of those other wrestlers that they did not want to pay for the main roster. What sense does that make? Who knows? It's Vince McMahon. Then they're talking about splitting up Kross and his wife as two separate entities. One is a female competitor in the women's division on SmackDown. Kross would go to Raw, which I'm not saying Kross on Raw would not be good. Actually, I think it probably would be good for Raw, because Raw's ratings are just toilet paper at this point. It's just same old horrible stuff. Do I think that's going to happen? No, because that would be a horrible decision for WWE. I would bring both of them up at the same time as the main roster and really go from there. Frankie Monet, with her dog that she's carrying around. I'm not understanding why they're embarrassing Taya Valkyrie like this. Like, they should allow her to use her real name. She should come into this company with the attitude that she had an Impact, which is, I am unbreakable, undefeatable. I'm not seeing that in this Frankie Monet character. I'm just not getting it one bit. If I was WWE, I would have already moved her to Raw in their women's division, because the Raw women's division is just really bad. News on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has been spotted backstage at several pay-per-views. In this past Monday Night Raw, she was backstage. She's done a dark match, apparently, to train. She's in shape. It sounds like they're leaning towards Money in the Bank at the latest, probably August before SummerSlam. I think that they should do that, absolutely, because the Raw Women's division is just horrendous. Every week, it's Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, or Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. And this Doudrop Piper Niven thing with Eva Marie is ridiculous. I don't understand why we're even doing any of this stuff. This whole Nikki Cross as a superhero thing is not good for her. I don't feel like this is going to end well for her. But again, I'm just going to be open-minded and say what it is what it is. This Alexa Bliss thing, to me, is getting out of hand as well. I think that they need to figure something out. What is the end goal here? Is she supposed to be Raw Women's Champion going into next WrestleMania? They have to figure out something to do with Naomi. after they fired Lana recently. I think Lana will end up in AEW with her husband very soon, honestly. I can see that happening in the next year. I'm just saying a lot of things on Raw right now are not making a lot of sense. The tag team division absolutely does not make any sense. This constant Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley thing needs to just end at this point. We've had 10 or 12 matches in 1 year against each other. I think we need to move on. Now, news on John Cena. John Cena has been basically meeting with WWE, and they are close to a deal. So it could end up being John Cena versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And then we could get Bobby Lashley versus a Brock Lesnar, possibly. But again, Edge just came back, so Edge could end up being in that picture. He just came back last night, so either way, it's going to end up a pretty decent SummerSlam pay-per-view, in my honest opinion. Again, I had to take some serious time off of watching WWE to really calm down and evaluate their thought process on what they're doing. And to me, it still doesn't make any damn sense, but